Welcome to another edition of Amplify Your Business, and today we are doing it live in person. Can you believe this? After, what has it been, 14, 15 months of Amplify Your Business episodes remotely through Zoom, we are now in person. And I get to hang out with Darren over at Arcadia Brewing today. And so we're going to find out what they've been up to through the pandemic. They actually started the brewery through the pandemic. And so we want to find out what motivated them to do that in the middle of a pandemic. I mean, everybody needed a drink, I guess, so maybe that was the business to start. So we're going to get the backstory there. We're also going to find out a little bit about their entrepreneurial journey and I guess what they have been brewing up over the pandemic. So let's go talk to Darren. Okay, here we are at Arcadia Brewing talking to Darren, the owner. Hey Darren, how's it going?
That's not too bad, not too bad.
Excellent. So we're standing right now in the upstairs portion of your brewery.
And sitting in the backyard portion of the brewery.
Yeah, so this is the backyard. Mm-hmm. We'll show a little bit of the ambience that you have set up here right after we're done chatting and stuff. But when it comes to the brewery itself, you've got two levels, and then over on this side here, down below us is where the tanks are.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so our main floor here, in Manchester Square, every space has a mezzanine, so a second floor. So yeah, the idea in our space is the main floor is supposed to be like our block party, and then upstairs is supposed to be like our backyard, you know, reminiscent of the good old days. But with us, there are no good old days. These are the good old days, so we're trying to create memories now in this space, you know, not looking back at memories you had before, but creating new ones in an old nostalgic type space.
Yeah, no, I love it what you guys have set up here. We're gonna go downstairs a little bit later and take a look at some of the art and walk around down there. It's just absolutely so cool. You're using local artists. We have a great big mural in behind us, which we'll talk about here in a minute as well. You've done a really, really great job with the place. Now you started, you opened this in November, you said, of 2020, right? Yeah, so right in the middle of the pandemic. So tell me, what were you thinking of starting a brewery in the middle of that? Is it that, hey, everybody needs a drink in the middle of the pandemic?
Well, apparently I wasn't thinking is the issue here. I mean, I've been signed up here at Manchester Square for a while now. And it just turns out that everything kind of worked out, that a pandemic happened, and we opened in November, you know. Obviously, we have things were in the summer. We really hoped that things would be better by November, and no, turns out right in the storm over there. So
yeah. I mean, this is the thing, right? Is we didn't know what was going to be happening. We didn't know when the official reopening of the whole economy and everything else was going to be happening, and so you plan the best that you possibly can. And so there was a lot of good indicators last summer that the fall maybe wasn't going to be that bad, and so as we started into the fall, then things kind of extended on, and then that second wave hit, and then the third wave hit in January, which really put you behind the eight ball, I'd imagine, just from a revenue standpoint and everything else. So walk me through some of that. Like those must have been hard days, trying to figure out how you were going to keep the doors open, keep the revenue flowing.
It's been a hard couple months. We haven't really been able to, we just keep on losing steam. We haven't gained steam either with financially or with customers, you know, like we opened up for 10 days in November and we had to close. So you put all that effort into getting people in here, showing them the space, and people weren't comfortable coming in, or if they came in, like, then they hadn't been back in 6 months or whatever it had been. So and then hoping that we were going to be reopened in January for the start of the hockey season, and then that got pushed back, and then you know, you're opening up in March and you're gaining steam and you're brewing beer and you're promoting the space, and then a month and a half later you're closed again. So then you have too much beer for just filling growlers and have you, and you know, you have all this space in here and you have staff who now are not able to work. So it's been one thing after another, you know.
So how do you manage that as a business owner then? Like you said, you mentioned you gear up with the staff and everything, and you gear up on the production side, and then it's all of a sudden the brakes are on and you can't even really sell what you have. So how do you manage through that as an entrepreneur?
Alcohol. Lots of alcohol. Thankfully we have that. You can't. I mean, you know what I mean? Everything's been so unpredictable.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how anyone can predict it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you say you can, you're probably not telling the truth.
Yeah.
Because it's just been one thing after another. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
either was trying to open up the place in the city, being difficult with getting us to open with permits and everything, to closure to our government handling things terribly. It's just been one thing after another, and then we're open and you're hiring all this staff, and then all of a sudden you're like, all right, guys, like, see you in a couple months. I mean, that's a tough one to deal with, and I don't know how I handled it. So
yeah, I mean, the cash flow is king for any business, right? And so when you're in a situation where you can't manage the cash, like bring in the cash flow because of all these extraordinary events that are happening, that are closing those doors, it must have been really difficult. So now what I understand is you guys were doing growlers, and then you started doing some canning as well. Obviously you were set up to do the pints. I mean, pouring was the idea. Actually, maybe let's go back a step and just tell me a little bit about the impetus for starting this Arcadia Brewery.
Well, the plan was, I mean, I had my Arcadia bar on 124th Street, and I was selling just Alberta beer, and it started with, I wanted to be creating my own product. I wanted to be, I didn't want to be the middle person and just selling other people's product. I wanted to be creating something, having my own story, and then also, if you had a kitchen, use your own ingredients, do everything in house. Well, I love beer, I love the bar atmosphere, create everything in house. So that was the plan. And then as we're getting closer to this, it's like, okay, well, maybe we can get a small canning line so we can can some things. And then the pandemic, you're like, okay, but we should be okay by the time we open. And then things just got worse. And I mean, for the idea of just being a more or less in-house type brewery, it was just a huge wrench into our plans. And we opened up and we were doing growlers, and then when we were open, we didn't have any beer, because you can't just brew beer and it's ready the next day. It takes a couple of weeks. So it's just been, it's either been delays or just time restrictions. So it's.
I love what you were saying though, in terms of like comparing it to a kitchen, right? So the margin, if you can, produce it in-house, don't buy the stuff pre-finished and whatnot. So you're trying to do the same model with the brewery, and so you're selling alcohol, that's where you're making your money in a typical restaurant. And so then it's brew it in-house, get that extra margin. So you guys are set up for that. And then the pandemic closes the doors, so you can't actually sell the pints. So then you start gearing up on the can or the growlers and stuff, and then the cans. But at the same time, you're trying to pour growlers, I'd imagine, when you now needed to shift your business model around where you're actually selling cans out to other locations, right? Whether it's liquor stores or other restaurants or whatnot. But I mean, it's you, right? This is your business. So how do you do all of that? How did you manage to sell and pour and brew and everything else?
I still don't know. It's been I think I blacked out there for a couple months. I have no idea. And I mean, I'm obviously behind the 8 ball here on some things, because as you said, there's a lot to manage. Doing all that, but we're moving along here.
Good.
Sean Ness, our brewer there, I mean, he's busting his ass, and I'm bringing some people. I'm bringing in a girl, Marissa, to be doing our sales rep and selling the cans to liquor stores, so I can focus on promoting the business here more and working in-house here. It's just been a lot. There's been a lot of things that were never in the works that now are in the works. So things have changed a little bit for us, but you have to adapt. And that's what we're trying to do.
So tell me, through all this, I mean, hopefully we don't have to repeat this again, right? Hopefully this is done. But what lessons did you learn through all this that other entrepreneurs who may be listening to this or watching this today might be able to draw upon for a similar situation or some other situation that they find themselves into?
My best advice would be, don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Is this, I mean, you have to be willing to, bend and, make changes.
Yeah.
You know, I've been fine with the changes that we've had to make, but like there are some times where you have to sacrifice things, and I mean, it's been a long few months for me working here, but I mean, it's a sacrifices. If you open up a business, your life's gonna be a living hell for a while. And that's just it, you know. If you're passionate enough about your business and what you stand for, it's, you know, it's worth it in the end. Hopefully. Because as you said, hopefully we're done with this.
Well, and I imagine, so we're filming this right now, early July. So Alberta just basically had a complete summer reopening. So the masks are off, as everybody can see here. And so people are returning back, no restrictions. So you can go at full capacity. What is your capacity here?
100 people.
100 people. Okay, so good capacity. So you start filling this place up through the summer months. Everybody, I mean, it's beer drinking season, right? You have a patio outside as well, a nice little patio out there. So that's going to get the cash flow going. What kind of capacity do you have from a brewing standpoint then? Like once things really get going, are you going to be able to keep up with that demand?
So that's what we're doing right now is, and that's kind of where the cash flow situation comes into effect, is we're going to be contracting some of our beers. Like we're unable to hold up with the demand right now.
Okay, good.
Even with you know, the restrictions finishing now, more or less. Summertime, everyone just sits outside. So your capacity is inside 100 people, and outside's about 40 people. So we still can't keep up. So contracting is something that we're pushing now. Is a lot of like small breweries doing in Alberta. So. But then that's tough because it's a lot of money to contract, and I haven't been able to garner it through the cash flow. But you know, we're getting there. I don't think I've been open up for 2 months back to back since we've been open. So it's going to be nice to be open for a while, and you know.
Well, and really see if those projections that you had at the beginning of the day when you were thinking through the business plan, right? If those are actually going to hold true or not. I mean, the pent-up demand is definitely there. Everybody wants to be out. Everybody wants to be socializing. And so it should be a really good blip here for the rest of the summer. I'd imagine a little nervous about what the winter might hold even without the pandemic, just in terms of is the demand going to continue to be in that kind of surge scenario, or is it going to really lessen off? And so...
No, I think we're going to feel it for a while now. People are going to be so stoked to be out. And how many people have just been cooped up for, you know, how long now? 14 months, you know? I feel like it's just that 14 months is going to be a turnover of a year and a half, 2 years of people just wanting to go out. I really feel like the pandemic has really pushed the whole local thing more. So we already saw it happening, but now people realize that how much local businesses have to go through and everything. I mean, the amount of money it costs to start this up, the pains we have to go through dealing with the city, everything, you know? We don't have deep pockets to pay for a lot of the advertising or what have you. So they realize that a bit more now. So I feel like we're going to see a huge spike in support for local businesses.
Well, now this is one of the things that I am just so impressed with you and what you're doing here at Arcadia is the focus that you have on other local businesses as well, and in particular the art community. And so there's this giant mural over my left shoulder here. The mural. Why don't we walk over there and you can tell us a little bit about what that mural means to you and the business and the background of it. So here's the mural. This thing is so impressive. A local artist then prepared this for you?
Yeah, my buddy AJ Loden did it. I've known AJ for a couple of years. He's not only an incredible artist, he's just a incredible community member. He does a lot, you know, for the John Humphrey Center and the Boyle Street and all that. So I'm very proud to have AJ in here, to have done something in here.
Really cool. Okay, so walk us through a little bit of what we're seeing here and what's the meaning behind some of this stuff.
So what it is you can kind of see our Arcadia A in the background. So AJ's concept was having a Rube Goldberg. It's kind of like an art form of a wheel creating something. You can kind of see some of the wheels and spokes and everything. So this is everything that has kind of brought Arcadia business here and myself to doing this. So I mean, you have a grain house there, it creates the beer, but then we have certain things like, you know, the castle there. We're trying to burn down the establishment of the macro beers, We have a harp there from my Irish heritage. My parents are from Ireland.
Oh, cool.
The rest of my family lives there. We have a great quote from Chuck D of Public Enemy: "Stand for something or fall for anything." I do a lot of work with the Boyle Street and other services in the city, so that means a lot to me. The Edmonton Coliseum, it's my favorite place in the world, and because we got signs and seats from there and here, and then you get the ship there, the Good Ship of Albion. So the story is, only a libertine, someone in favor of oppression, can sail the Good Ship of Albion, and the Good Ship of Albion is the only way to get to Arcadia, and Arcadia is a place where two true hearts and minds and melodies belong.
Okay.
So that's where that comes from. And then AJ did, because Arcadia is supposed to be a simpler times, so he did like kind of old Edmonton houses there.
Yeah.
And then a couple of the houses have some addresses from my best friends over in Liverpool, my uncle's house in Ireland. And then Bill Ranford there, just a big inspiration of mine. I was quite ill when I was younger, and and he was just an inspiration for me to get through that.
Cool. And
then Libertines, that's where the name Arcadia comes from. They actually named the beer for me. We're Whistling Pig Hazy Pale Ale, which is a huge honor of mine. And that's kind of a famous photo of them, and AJ just put them as Whistling Pigs. And so AJ's just created so many things. Like, I'm still noticing things, like over there we still have Turtle Island, just recognition of the indigenous community and Earth. And so many things, like I'm noticing new things all the time. And I just love it. AJ just does so many incredible things. I'm just proud to have this piece in our space here.
Yeah, what a talented artist. And I love this quote here, the be more kind.
Be more kind. That's Frank Turner. We have a proclamation in the city of Edmonton.
Yeah.
September 11th is Be More Kind Day. So 3 years ago, Frank Turner was playing the Wind Spear, and I actually brought him down to the Boyle Street, and he played there for a while and everything. So we have that, and a lot of things. There were no good old days. These are the good old days. So it's like I said before about not looking back at your past memories, but creating new ones. And then over here we have the, if you've lost your faith in love and music, go, the end won't be long. It's kind of like if you lost your faith in craft beer, the end won't be long. And just the blue part, we kind of have some hidden little gems in there for some of my friends, some Easter eggs.
Yeah.
And no, I'm not a Seahawks fan. Everyone asks that.
Awesome. So really cool. So why don't we actually head downstairs and we can take a look at some of the other artwork down there as well then.
Sounds good.
Okay, so now we're downstairs in the main floor here. And so this is the main tap room. We've got the brewing happen back there, a bunch more seating, and the art. Like, it's just incredible, all the different kinds of art that you've got here. So tell us why you chose some of these artists to work with, and what some of these pieces mean, I guess, to you.
Well, yeah, these section signs are actually from the Edmonton Coliseum. These stairwell signs. Section 122, my dad and I sat there for about 17 years together. So that means a lot to me.
Yeah.
118 is the Ford truck used to be there, and so you always met your friends and everyone there. Mac Brown, a local artist, she did the Treaty 6 mural. That was really important to me. I just didn't want to put on my profile, we're on Treaty 6 land. I wanted to have some art form of it. Mac's an incredible Indigenous artist, so I'd always envisioned that being here, and I was happy that finally that did get done. We have the Ethan Bear autographed jersey and his name in Cree there, which is a very proud thing to have up on our walls. Yeah. And right now we're just featuring a local artist, J-Cat, some of his work there. We had that on for Indigenous Peoples Day.
Nice.
And then, so we got some of our merch here. We have our street sign here. So right downstairs is supposed to be like a block party. So AJ created all of our beer signs as street signs.
Nice.
And then we got a regular of ours right in that art piece. That's actually Mike Nickel. So please remember, in October, do not vote for Mike Nickel. So that's what we feel like Mike Nickel probably looks like in the inside. And apparently our number one fan, Ryan Jesperson. Yeah, and
that's
then
awesome.
so yeah, we have certain things in here. Around here, we have an autographed piece of the Libertines,
Yeah.
and obviously Arcadia, that came from them and everything. So
Yeah.
and then local artist Jeff Mazzaros from Jam Bottle Cap Art did this mural for me a couple of years ago of Joe Strummer of the Clash. So that's over 4,000 beer caps.
So cool.
Yeah, I'm a massive Joe Strummer and Clash fan, and a lot of stuff that Joe spoke about means a lot to me. So really awesome to have that in here. And then AJ also did this mural of Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gigi, who passed away. It's that connection of you know, father and daughter, and you know, like their connection together and kind of passing the torch onto his daughter Gigi. And unfortunately, sadly, that, you know, we'll never get to see the legacy she was able to create. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep. Well, I mean, the connection that you have with family, with community, giving back. I know you do a lot of stuff with the Boyle Street as well, which is just really, really admirable. And so something that we talked about off camera a little bit, just in terms of, you know, the role that small businesses, us entrepreneurs have in the communities that we, you know, participate in, that our customers come from. The stronger those communities are, the stronger our businesses are, and you do so much great things for that. And so I just want to say thank you on behalf of all the entrepreneurs and all the business communities, as well as, you know, all the people who are benefiting from the hard work that you're putting into the community. It's really cool, and I really appreciate that. But now, I mean, the serious question now is, can we try some of this beer? I mean, let's get down to sampling. So.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, awesome. Let's do it. Oh man, that looks delicious.
There you go.
Look at this.
So yeah, we wanted to create sessionable type
Look
beers
at
for
that.
people. 4.9%. All of our beers, apart from the West Coast, are under 5%. So
Oh, that is nice, eh?
yeah, it's pretty easy drinking.
Wow. Yeah, I love it. It's not too bitter. Like, it's actually really, really smooth for a hazy IPA. Oftentimes you have a little too much, in my opinion, aftertaste to it, bitterness to it, where this is just has a really clean finish to it.
Yeah, yeah, we wanted to make crushable beers.
Yeah.
So people are crushing them.
Okay, everybody, so this is it. This is what we need to be doing this summer, supporting local businesses, enjoying a fresh glass of beer on a beautiful sunny summer day, and yeah, just really getting out and enjoying the reopening of our economy. So that's another episode of Amplify Your Business. Thanks a lot. Really appreciate it, Darren, for giving us a tour and walking us through your business and telling us your story. And if you're ever interested in any other episodes of Amplify Your Business, head over to amplimedia.com/amplify, and that will get you to the archive. Until next time, everybody, stay safe and enjoy a cold one.